Happy Monday, people. Okay, so before we get started, I had a couple people ask me what are some of my favorite appliances, or what appliances do I use the most. Obviously, my Vitamix. I've had this thing for how long have I had this for? 10 years? 10 years? No. 10 years. I think, well, close to 10 years. The warranty is good for 7, so I know it's way past that. And another appliance that I use often is my food processor. I don't have it out at the moment. I've used it a few times with making granola and everything. But Vitamix and food processor, and even my KitchenAid mixer I use often. KitchenAid mixer I use more for if I'm making like cakes or cupcakes, if I'm like beating eggs to fold into cakes. Vitamix I use for almost everything, from making smoothies every day to making ice cream, which is what we're going to be making today, and nut butters, almond milk. I've used it on here before, making my almond milk. Let's see. What else have I used it for? Okay, those are my top 3. Food processors to finely chop nuts, to chop veggies, which I use multiple times a week. Then, I mean, I could go down a giant rabbit hole with all the different appliances that I use. Every year I see something, a new appliance, like around Christmas, around Thanksgiving time, and I'm just like, oh, can I justify that? Can I have one more appliance? Oh, my Instant Pot. I talk about that all the time. I love my Instant Pot. I use that to make hard-boiled eggs, to make soups, to make my elderberry syrup. So I'm trying, and I use my Instant Pot to make my rice. And there's a couple other things that I know I use it for, but I'm trying to find appliances that have multiple things in it, so it's not just one appliance and now I have a kitchen full of appliances, which I already feel like I have, but there's always something new. The next thing on my radar is to replace my toaster oven, and there's different brands. I'm looking at the Ninja one, I think. But it's got one that will fold up, that places nicely underneath the cabinets. But I'm still trying to justify having another appliance. So anyways, those are my top 3 appliances. My Vitamix, my KitchenAid mixer, and I think it's a KitchenAid food processor. So it's starting to get warmer out. This weekend we were, I think, close to 90, if not 90, here in South Carolina. And I'm excited because that's ice cream season. My girls are excited because that's ice cream season. We love ice cream in this house. And I will tell you, it's been a few years since I've had traditional ice cream with cow's milk and pumped full of sugar and everything. So, because we make our own, and I usually use coconut milk or almond milk. Today I'm going to be using coconut milk. And you can experiment with different flavors. I try to stay with the basic vanilla and chocolate and peanut butter. We use cashew butter or almond butter. And I think this year I'm really going to start going out and starting putting add-ins like chocolate chips or mint flavoring with chocolate chips. And my favorite is always cookie dough ice cream, so I think I'm going to experiment more with that. Also, I can make like those whoopie pies and chop those up and put in there. It's kind of like cookies and cream. So, here we go. Coconut, I'm going to be using, or making the chocolate cashew butter ice cream out of my cookbook. Pieces. That's all right. You can put that table. Got computers flying off of surfaces. Okay, so what I do, I just put all of my ingredients in my Vitamix, blend it, and then I pour it into my ice cream maker, which I've had my ice cream maker for 10 years. A mentor of ours in chiropractic school, Dr. BJ Hardig, who also has a few books out there, he sent us a vitamin or a ice cream maker, and we've had it since. And we use it a lot during the summer, so it gets amazing good use out of it, and it's starting to get a little bit louder, but I think almost all ice cream makers are loud, so it's a great investment. And usually whenever it's colder, I'll stick it up where it's not really in the way. So here we go. I am going to first put in my coconut milk, which takes about 1.5 cans. I did put these in the fridge overnight, so it's nice and chilled. You don't necessarily have to. I think most of the time I don't because I forget. It's usually 1.5 cans that I'm using. And this is coconut cream, which in the past I might do half coconut cream, half coconut milk. And it's just me today. I know everyone's probably going to be missing my helpers. Next, I'm going to, hello. I'm going to be using cashew butter. So you can also use almond butter, peanut butter, sunflower seed butter, whatever tickles your fancy. And I'm not really measuring this because you guys will come to find out I don't measure as much. And then I'm going to throw in a couple teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then some sweetener, because come on, we have ice cream because it's nice and sweet. I'm using maple syrup. You could also use honey. And then so you can totally leave it like this. You don't have to add anything else after that. Or you could add some cocoa, which is what I'm going to be using. So we're going to have a nice chocolate peanut butter ice cream. And that's it. I'm going to blend it real quick. Very chocolatey look to it. I mean, you can play around with the chocolate. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to add the chocolate. It's still very delicious. And this, I mean, it's super easy to make. You're literally blending all of the ingredients. The key, if you have an ice cream maker, you want to make sure to put the base in the freezer overnight. So most of the time I get really frustrated because I totally forgot to put it in the freezer, and then we can't make ice cream. Although I guess you can. You can just blend it like this. I would smooth it into like a bread pan container. If you don't have an ice cream maker, just smooth it in a bread pan container, line it with parchment paper, and then you could just pour it and then stick it in the freezer. you just have to, whenever you're taking it out, you might want to give yourself an hour for it to thaw out. So if you're gonna have it after dinner, maybe set it out before you start making dinner. And it's because of the coconut milk. The coconut milk makes it harder, so it's not gonna be super creamy as soon as you stick it out of the freezer. But it does get creamy whenever you let it set out and soften a little bit. So like I said, my ice cream maker is loud, so this is a very short video because I'm not going to try to talk over my ice cream maker. Before I start it, I do want, this is a new thing that I found. I think I found it at Whole Foods, but it's chocolate syrup. Why not make chocolate ice cream and add chocolate syrup? Although, in hindsight, probably that might be a little too much chocolate. But if you weren't going to add the chocolate, you can always make chocolate syrup. Maybe one day I'll put that on my list of things to make here too. But it's just chocolate syrup, and it is water, cocoa, and stevia. And it is very syrupy, so it's not like super thick and chunky. It does come out like syrup. All right, we're ready to start this. Where's my, my helpers are, one's napping and Stella has a friend over, so she is busy having fun and not helping me out today, so that's totally okay. Sometimes you just have to have fun and not be in the kitchen. But don't worry, she will be tasting this later and telling me it's delicious. So. Oh, actually that does remind me. I forgot where this is from, but this is where you can store, it's not really plastic, but you just put your ice cream. See, we have a little bit left of chocolate ice cream that I made a few days ago, but I can put my ice cream in here instead of trying to find random containers for ice cream. And this goes in the freezer just fine. It's dishwasher fine. I don't know, it's Tovolo Elements. I don't know. Anyways, this is a really cool find. I think I found it on sale somewhere and had to have it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get this started and then I'm probably gonna try and talk over it and say goodbye, but I hope you guys try this out. Again, if you don't have an ice cream maker, don't feel like you can't ever make ice cream. You can still make ice cream. Just blend all the ingredients, take a bread pan or some sort of skinnier pan, put parchment paper on the bottom, and then just pour this on it and stick it in the freezer for a few hours. I will give another little tidbit. So once this is done, I'm going to just take a scooper and put scoops into muffin pans, like my silicone separate muffin pans. And let's see if I can find those. So I have these, they're just silicone. And I'm going to take a scoop and put them in here and then stick it in the freezer. That way it's going to be pre-scooped out whenever you freeze it. And then I'll take those and put it into this container. So once the scoop freezes, I'll pop it out of the silicone tin here and then just put it in my container. And that way you don't have to thaw out the entire thing an hour before you're wanting to eat it. You can just already have pre-made scoops, which I think I found that idea on Pinterest one day. But it's a great idea, and I really, really recommend doing that because it takes the pain out of having to dig in and heat up a spoon and just deal with that. That way everything's already pre-scooped, and you're not getting too much ice cream. When you see you have 6 scoops, you're gonna start thinking maybe that's a bit much, but if you're just digging in, taking a spoonful every once in a while, you might eat a little too much, and still, it's ice cream. It's a treat. Okay, So I hope you guys enjoy. I mean, we're gonna have beautiful weather, and I hope you are having beautiful weather wherever you are. But enjoy the ice cream on a hot summer day that's bound to be here whenever we can go outside. It's not too loud. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. And next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm sure I'll be inspired this week to figure that out. Have a great day.